Now we're going to start connecting multiple statements and multiple connectives into the same compound statement, okay, and seeing what that looks like. So I've got a couple quick examples here. The first statement, P, she struggles with arithmetic. Second statement, Q, she does well with algebra. Now, depending upon who it's referring to, those could either be true or false statements, okay? Or true or false sentences, and therefore they are statements. Now, just a couple, just to practice translating these, if I wanted to translate into P and Q using a conjunction, then the way I might translate this or write it out would be, now it has to be something that, it has to be a sentence that includes both of these, right? So I might say something like, she struggles with arithmetic, but does well with algebra. Okay, notice I did not use the word and here, even though this is a conjunction. The reason I didn't use the word and, I used the word but. They can both be used for a conjunction interchangeably, but oftentimes we use the word but when you transition from sort of a, I don't know, maybe a more positive statement to a more negative statement in some sense. And so here, she struggles with arithmetic is kind of a negative thing, but she does well with algebra, kind of, flips that sentiment to a more positive statement. And so a lot of times we use the word but in there instead of the word and. But they're really interchangeable. Logically, they mean the same thing, whereas in English, maybe you would prefer one over the other, okay? Here I would probably prefer the word but. So, she struggles with arithmetic, but does well with algebra, is a valid way to interpret this conjunction, okay? Let's look at a disjunction. Let's say P or Q. Well, here you would basically spell out the same thing, just put the word or in there, right? She struggles with arithmetic, or does well with algebra. Okay, one or the other, maybe both, right? One or the other or both are all options for the disjunction, for the or statement. Now let's look at combining these with more than one connective. Okay, so rather than just a but or an or a conjunction or a disjunction, maybe we have a negation in there as well, or conditional or biconditional. So for instance, maybe we have not, parenthesis, P and Q. Okay, so the translation of this, it is not the case that she struggles with arithmetic but does well with algebra. Okay, so it is not the case that she struggles with algebra or with arithmetic but does well with algebra. Okay, so that would be the translation. Now I'm not looking for whether these are true or false statements. I'm simply looking to translate them into English, okay? And that's really all I'm looking for right now. In later sections, we will be talking about the truth of statements based upon the truth of the original simple statements. But for right now, we're just looking at translating these into something that makes sense, okay? Another one. This one, I have a not P or Q, but this time I don't have any parentheses, And the parentheses, just like in the order of operations you're probably familiar with, they sort of separate off things that have to be grouped together, right? So in the previous example, P and Q, or P but Q in this case, kind of are grouped together, and the not, the negation, is applied to the whole rest of the statement. Here, the negation is only applied to the P part of the statement, okay? So without the parentheses, we would imply that the negation just goes with the P. So I would say that she does not struggle with arithmetic or does well with algebra. Okay, she does not struggle with arithmetic, or she does well with algebra. And again, with the or statement there, you could have one or the other or both. Okay. All right, let's say we add in some conditionals. Let's do something like Q implies not P. Again, there's two connectives here. There's the conditional and the negation. And so in this example, Q is, she does well with algebra. So because of the conditional here, I need to start off with the word if, right? So if, and again, the negation goes along with the P that follows it. So if she struggles with arithmetic, then, all right, so that's your conditional part, if then, not P. Oh, did I just write that wrong? I did, I wanted Q. I just wrote that wrong. My bad. Let's rewrite that one. So if Q, sorry, I did that in the wrong order. If she does well with algebra, then, there's my conditional, if then, if she does well with algebra, then not P, then she will not struggle with arithmetic. Then she does not struggle with arithmetic. Okay? So if she does well with algebra, then she does not struggle with arithmetic. That would be the conditional statement Q implies not P. All right? Now let's take a look at a negation of a conditional. Let's try this one. Let's try the negation of P implies Q, or if P then Q. So you might say it is not the case, because again, the negation has to apply to the entire conditional. So it is not the case that if P then Q, that if she struggles with arithmetic, then she will do well with algebra. That if she struggles with arithmetic, then she does well with algebra. Okay, so it's not the case that that conditional is true, right? Okay, so next we're going to be adding an additional statement and even more connectives.